Hello, this is New Vision TV. I am Lynn Komjisha. Ugandans are getting a test of what real value for money is. The Committee on Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises that probe the oil handshake has completed its work. Besides several findings and recommendations, Cosase has also found some $19 million which technocrats had neglected to collect. Now, New Vision TV explains how the committee achieved so much while spending so little of the taxpayers' money.
But we are going to make a finding as to whether it was lawful or not.
When the 30-member strong committee started probing the 6 billion shillings oil handshake, it did all its work within the confines of Parliament committee work. So while over 100 witnesses were being interviewed and hundreds of documents getting examined, there was no extra cost to the taxpayer. When the 30-member strong committee started probing the 6 billion shillings oil handshake, it did all its work within the confines of Parliament committee work. So while over 100 witnesses were being interviewed and hundreds of documents getting examined, there was no extra cost to the taxpayer. However, a time came when, in fulfillment of the terms of reference, the committee had to go to London and interface with the lawyers government used to handle the heritage case as well as other relevant persons. The committee chairman, Abdu Katuntu, who is also Bugwedi MP, said that only 5 members would travel to London to carry out the committee work. Each of the 5 members was given strictly $2,800 to survive on for 4 nights and days. This catered for their hotel accommodation, meals, travel around London, communication and other professional expenses like facilitating meetings and securing the meeting places. This totaled to $14,000 for all the 5 members who were entitled to the usual public servants' daily rate of $520. In addition, the Parliamentary Commission bought air tickets worth about $3,000 each for the 5 members. This amounted to $1,500. Added to the $14,000 per diem, the entire mission cost $29,000. At an exchange rate of 3,550 to $1, it comes to 102 million shillings. At the end of the day, the committee unearthed $4 million awarded to URA in the Kampala arbitration and another $15 million by court later, which the technocrats, some of them even beneficiaries of the handshake, had neglected to collect. The $19 million is equal to 67 billion shillings at an exchange rate of 3,550 shillings to $1. So the committee spent only 100 million shillings to rescue 67 billion shillings. So the committee only spent 0.14% of what they rescued. What they spent is equivalent to only 1.6% of the handshake. However, Cosase chairman Abdu Katuntu maintains they do not expect any special thanks because they were doing their work, for which they are well paid.
Get that clear.
You're still watching New Vision TV, and now for Pearl of Africa series, we take a look at the lion.
It is never advisable to get closer to a lion because it is said to be the most dangerous animal. However, if you want to get closer to it, Uganda Wildlife Education Center offers this opportunity. This is their cage where 5 African lions are kept. In here are 5 lionesses and 1 lion. Dan Mirembe, zookeeper, says maintaining a lion is rather expensive, especially when it comes to feeding, since the diet of a lioness is different from that of a lion.
We normally feed them on beef, and each one of them, the lionesses will give them 5 kilos of beef, and the male will give it 8 to 10 kilos. But what you have to have in mind is that in the wild, on average, the male eats 40 kilos per meal on average. And the lioness, that's the female, eats an average of 15 kilos per meal. So, but after they have eaten that food, that estimation of meat, they can take like 2 days without eating.
The lion spends 16 to 20 hours of the day sleeping or resting. They lie on their backs with their feet up or taking a doze up in a tree. While lazing around, they are very affectionate towards one another, rubbing heads and grooming. This explains why lionesses give birth to 2 or 3 cubs at a time. But one wonders, how are they treated when they fall sick? And how do the zookeepers know that any of the lions is sick?
The response towards food. So usually, just as I told you, we normally feed them on 5 kilos of beef every day, with the exception of Mondays and Fridays. So you get to know if the food, if they have not responded towards the food. 2, the daily movements. So you as a keeper or as a caretaker, you'll keep observing them. And if you get to know that the lion has spent almost the entire day in one place, then you get to know there's something that has gone amiss with it.
Unlike lions that die due to illnesses, this fierce animal also has predators who threaten its survival in Uganda.
We have an average of 420 lions in the entire nation. And Uganda has around 10 national parks. So that number is a very small number. And most of the national parks that we have, their neighbors, they're herdsmen. So sometimes when they go in for hunting and they don't see the wild animals, what they normally opt for is to go in the neighborhood, go and hunt for cattle, goat, and the sheep.
Besides Uek, the lions can be found at Kidepo Valley Park, Maction Falls National Park, and Queen Elizabeth National Park. I am Ruth Naseje.
And that's all we had for you. Thank you for watching. Be sure to catch more of your updates on your mobile, on your desktop, on your tablet, anywhere in the world by visiting www.newvision.co.ug. I am Lynn Komjisha.